Welcome back to the Curvaceous Bounty of Sin City on VegasAllNetRadio.com, the final frontier of free speech. Oh no, we're not on VegasAllNetRadio.com.
Damn it.
Not anymore.
But we are definitely the final frontier of free speech.
Yeah, we are. So,
now we're really the final frontier.
Right.
Like
the finalist frontier.
Really free speech now. Like, really.
yeah, like we can sit around in our bras and shit.
And now I could like put the microphone in my cleavage and just sit here like this.
You could.
I can. I'm doing it right now. It's happening.
I'm
This is
doing
live.
it. Do you not see this happening?
Right, this is live.
This
right
is
now.
happening now.
Yep. Live.
Live.
Live from Fat Toopy Studios. Don't fuck it up now.
The videos.
I better
It's just
be
my
careful before I
computer.
electrocute myself.
Yeah, that would
It's just
suck.
your computer.
It's a little moist in there.
Yeah, don't electrocute.
Moist. Which was it? One of you who hates the word moist?
It's got to be her. I don't care.
It's not me. It's just when you say it in a certain reference,
Moist.
it's all
My
gross.
moist vagina.
Yeah, that's
My moist underboob.
Yeah.
You alright with my moist underboob?
I'm alright with moist underboob. I have moist underboob.
Are you okay with my dewy nether regions?
No, I'm not okay with that. I don't like anything that references the vagina. I'd like to keep my life vagina free. If I could be free of my vagina, I
Well, you don't have
probably would.
monthlies anymore, do you?
no.
That's great.
Yeah,
So
but
all your vagina's there for now is peeing and fucking, right?
yeah, but I still have to maintenance it because I don't have any like hormones or anything in my body right now. Like
Mhm.
it's temperamental.
Mm.
And so it needs to be pH balanced and it needs upkeep.
Your vagina needs work.
It still requires work.
It does. It requires upkeep, which is cool. I upkeep it every day.
Every
With
day.
my hand.
No, never that.
Oh, that's right. You don't skittle your diddle your skittle.
I don't diddle with my hand at all ever.
You just use a Hitachi, right?
I have a bullet actually that I use. I actually am pretty sensitive now that I don't get laid very often.
Just like 2 seconds. Woo!
Yeah, pretty much.
Like an 8-second cowboy ride.
Well, in my relationship, we didn't have a lot of sex, so
No?
no.
I thought for sure you guys were doing it like rabbits.
No, I wish.
No?
Yeah, he's I think the only guy that declines sex. He's like, no, thanks, I'm good. I'll be like, yeah, but it's been a while.
I think we have a pretty good balance. I think his drive is a little bit more than mine sometimes, and sometimes mine is more than his. So it evens out, I guess. I get the fucking hiccups suddenly.
So what big topic should we discuss, ladies?
Well, let's see what's happened in the news lately. So the Philly train. So now they're talking like 2 or 3 trains that night got like shot at or rocks thrown at them or something.
What?
And just before that train accelerated, because it accelerated before it decelerated, they say that it's possible it was struck by something on the engine, the window of the engine before
Right.
it started accelerating. So they're still, researching that. Let's see what else has happened in the news. Let's pull up the headlines. I know that we're entering fire season here in Vegas. It's been all over the news about how don't start fires in mountains and shit.
You know what? Really quick, we can talk about after fire season. I'll wait till the riveting fire
season
season's
is
over.
Just so you know.
What about Deflategate?
Oh.
The whole thing with Tom Brady's balls.
Tom Brady's balls are not as big as they should have been. Tom
But
Brady's
here's the
got
thing.
deflated balls.
Here's what they did. They
Balls.
part of the controversy associated with it is the fact that I believe he's suspended for 4 or 5 games. His team's being fined. He deflated some balls. He had knowledge of it. He instructed them to do so. But the whole thing is that in comparison, they have people who are like wife beaters
who get like 2 games
who
suspension.
have who beat the one who did corporal punishment to his children. Isn't the one who had the dog ring, Michael Vick, isn't he like still playing or he's back
he's back
playing
playing.
now?
Yeah, no, he should have been lifetime banned.
He should have been banned forever.
Yeah.
But no, instead the focus is on you deflated some balls.
Yeah, no, I think that's ridiculous. Yeah, at the most, they should be fined. I don't think he needs to have a game suspension, especially not more of a game suspension than the guy who cold clocked his wife and knocked her the fuck out in an elevator.
Did you ever see that video?
Yeah, he just hauled off.
That was insane.
Well, they were
and then he drug her.
Yeah, grabbed her and dragged her out. It was ridiculous. Yeah, and he only got what, 2-game suspension?
Yeah, I
Pending
believe so, something like that.
Yeah, and Michael Vick's back to playing, or I think he's retired again, but he came back and he killed animals. And he gets to come back and play. Tom Brady tells the guy, hey, you know what, my hands are a little stiff today. Can you deflate the balls a pound or two so that I can, grab the ball? And he gets a 4-game suspension and a fine. First off, I think cheating is wrong, especially in a professional athlete sport where people look up to you. Children idolize you. I don't think you should use any game-enhancing drugs. I don't think you should do any extra things that give you an unnatural advantage over anyone else. Now, you can, of course, be taller than someone, more skilled than someone, work harder than someone, and become better than them. But, like blood doping and all the other stupid shit that gives you the unnatural advantage over your opponent, I think is wrong. Especially since, and I don't give a fuck about the game. I don't give a fuck about the advantage that you get. I don't give a fuck about whether you win or lose or how much you're punished. What I give a fuck about is that if my kid starts to idolize you and suddenly he finds out the only reason you are a god among men is because you did drugs, that's not the message I want my children, the children of the world, to know. I don't want the children of the world to know you can win 7 Tour de France's by cutting off a ball and blood doping.
Well, he didn't cut off a ball to help him win.
I know, he had testicular cancer.
He, had cancer.
That little
the ball,
he
didn't,
thing.
He didn't remove the ball to give him an advantage.
No, but he did do the blood doping and various other things. I don't think
he admitted to it though. That was
once he got caught, he admitted to it. And then I still love A-Rod. I've never done steroids. Are you kidding me?
Right?
Your testicles are the size of peanuts. You want to talk about Deflategate?
Right? If peanuts were
raisins,
microorganisms.
That's funny. But yeah, so that's just kind of the way it works. I don't give a fuck if it gives you an advantage. I don't give a fuck if it makes you smarter, stronger, faster, whatever. What I give a fuck about is the message you're sending to the children who are idolizing you. Do drugs and you'll do better.
That's the problem with us allowing our children to idolize public figures, because they're still flawed humans. They're still flawed individuals. It's the same thing as if, when they, for example, again, my child plays sports, and with what she does, with what she does, everybody, any female goalie loves Hope Solo. Hope Solo is a domestic abuser. Mm-hmm. She has beat her now husband. She has beat her sister. She has beat her sister's kids. She has been arrested for all of it. And yet she still continues to play.
So she has some issues.
She does. But again, because, when kids are allowed to idolize these individuals without seeing them for the flawed humans they are, these things become very disappointing.
This is why I love the fact that my child is a total nerd. Do you know what he spent 90% of yesterday doing? He spent it on his iPad, curled up on the couch, watching some other British nerd play Minecraft. I'm like, yep, that's the person I want you to look up to. Like, he's not idolizing some steroid pumping athlete anywhere. He's not idolizing some womanizing actor. He's not idolizing some, jackass comedian. He's idolizing an average, everyday dude who likes to do the same things he likes to do and makes money doing it. And that's okay with me.
Right.
Like, he knows this British guy who lives a million miles away because they have this connection through Minecraft.
But now is Does he talk to him? Does he actually chat with him?
No, no, no,
Oh,
no.
okay, I was
It's
going
kind
to
of like
say he could be like
A
he might
pedophile.
not be worth worshiping. He could be a big
no,
old Betty.
no. He's not allowed in chat rooms. He's not allowed any chat
Yeah, we
apps
don't
on
do
his.
any of that.
Yeah, he's not allowed any. He's not on any social media yet. I know lots of kids his age who do have social media and all that shit. I'm like,
How
no,
old is he?
he's 9, and he doesn't. And I've actually engendered in him some caring of not giving a shit. He gets a thrill when a picture I post on my Facebook page gets a like, and but he doesn't really want his own.
I'm just going to share with you just a tiny, tiny suggestion. What I did with my child, because social media is the way. Like, social media is here,
Mm-hmm.
social media is here to stay. But what I see is a lot of, like, especially our friends or young kids, when they're threatening to kill themselves because Justin Bieber did, this or that, or when the One Direction kid, left and everything and they were very distraught, or I'm going to kill this puppy if you don't, retweet my tweet. What we chose is, I kind of worked through the lesser of all evils, and we went with Instagram. And so it's heavily monitored, but she's on with classmates, teammates.
Mm-hmm.
She follows a lot of like Disney accounts and different things like that. We're very careful who she accepts from, and she can't post like where her school is or anything like that. But we used it up until this point as like everything she did had to be approved. If she posted a picture, I had to give it the okay. And we would go through, and sometimes she'd have friends who, would post something, and we'd be able to use it and go, this is not okay, and here's why it's not. You know, this is very risky, and here's why you don't want to do this. Here's why whatever you put on here is going to stay with you forever. I mean, when you go to college, they can very well go back and see what your footprint is, in social media, on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So we used it as a guide. She only just got permission to, like, now she can start to post on her own. But even what she was choosing to post, it wasn't, um, it wasn't all I didn't want a child who only posted selfies, contrary to the fact that I
Right.
take a lot of
Do
selfies.
as you say, not as you
Not
do.
as I do. But I didn't want her, number one, your value isn't determined based on likes and by the number of friends you have, on a social media platform, and by how many people comment. Like, this isn't, she's not allowed to do those ones where you're like begging for likes, or like, you like this and then I'll do this, or um, just different stuff like that. So we use it as a starting point, and eventually I know she'll want to participate in other forms of social media, but it's been very successful thus far. So
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, next step, Facebook. But she can't have a Facebook till she's 14 anyway, so
it's
you got.
13.
Oh, they changed
It's
it?
13. Yep.
It used to be 14 because I had to research it because my daughter wanted one super bad. And I was
Right.
like, nope, it says 14.
Yeah, my son has a Google account, but that's for his YouTube account so that he can post videos of himself for the family members to see.
Mm-hmm.
So like his science project where he did a whole like science video where it's like
Right.
15-minute long video where he teaches kids how to make scientific measurements or whatever it was.
Right, I remember.
So that's what we have it for. I mean, I don't think he even knows what the login is. The biggest social media thing that my kid does is he plays online children's video games like Lego Chima Online.
Yeah, we
And
started out with that, like Penguin, Club Penguin,
yeah.
and Moshi Monsters and
Yeah, and he's
everything.
got like two or
And
three friends from school that they're all like in the
yeah,
same friends
we could
group,
do
and
that.
he knows he's not allowed to just make friend requests and
Right,
stuff.
and a lot are pre-chat. It's pre-chat filled.
Mm-hmm.
So if you even chat, you have to select from drop downs. Like, you can't go in and type. It'd be like,
How
"How
old
are
are
you
you, little boy?
doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't ask. There's like, "How are you doing?" And the response like, "I'm doing okay." And
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what that and YouTube. Yeah, and one of the things, so you can set up a Google account for someone who's younger than 18, and as a parent, you could turn on all these filtering permissions for their
Mhm.
search and all that stuff. So his iPad is logged into his Google account, and he's seriously restricted because if you Google just like some of the things my kid likes to do, like Minecraft mods and Lego, Lego Builder and stuff like that, you will sometimes come up with things that are not appropriate for a 9-year-old.
Right.
But you can filter that out in the search filters. Google has that ability. And so he's logged into his Google account on his iPad, so I'm not worried about him finding something strange on YouTube or anything else like that.
See, my child has friends who have Twitter.
Oh,
and like
no.
Twitter's the last one because I'm on Twitter.
And without wanting to, I see vagina.
And it's, but she's very good. Like if there's somebody who does post some inappropriate things, or if they're very just kind of needy in their posting, like you have to like it or, blah, blah, blah. I want that removed from her, not only from her feed, but just kind of step away from that. But I will say one time she was in a direct message with classmates. And so my phone's even logged right into her account. So I check it all the time. And this conversation was basically going on in direct message between them, between some classmates. And one of her classmates got very
derogatory,
very derogatory, like using words that like we just do not use, period. And so I
except
was
on
at
Mommy's show.
and
Right.
yeah, except for on Mommy's show.
Again, do as I say, not as I do.
There's a difference. I'm an adult, and I know, I know
The
right from
appropriate
wrong,
setting.
and she's still learning. So that's why it can be do as I say. But so at one point, so I'm in there and I'm watching, and I'm going, all right, I'm going to pull her out of this conversation now, and I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to go in and let her know why. And so I gave it another moment, and what she did was, she started participating, but what she was saying, I was just very proud of, in her response and how she was handling it. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna keep going, like let her keep going and just, see where this goes. And she was like, just hey guys, this is not cool for for us to be saying this, and you're saying this to him, but these are words you're using yourself. And so, how about we just all, stop using it and just different things. But anyway, it was a very mature conversation for her age. It was a very mature response, but it was probably exactly what I would have wanted her to do. So
sometimes you got to let the leash go a little.
That's what I had to do.
Yep.
And I told her after, I'm like, I was following, right?
Right.
And she didn't, but I was very proud of her. So.
Well, good.
Did you reward her for that?
Yeah, I told her I was very. I'm not gonna give her a cookie for being good on social media.
Yeah, it was like my we have a very similar policy. You don't get rewarded for doing what you should
right.
do. You
If
get
it's
rewarded
right.
for going above
If
and
it's
beyond.
something I expect you to do.
Right.
Awesome. Let's high five. We don't fist bump, we kiss bump. But
my son and I have a secret handshake. So
yeah, kiss bump.
No, but it does include a fist bump and an explosion and some twisty things with our hands.
Well,
it's
a
pretty
boy.
complicated.
It's a boy. It's a little different. He's not going to want to do the kiss bump.
No, I can barely get him to kiss me on the lips anymore. He's like, "Oh."
Yeah, no, mine's not either. That's why we have to settle for the kiss bump. And every day when she gets out of the car for school, I'm all kiss bump.
If he doesn't make actual contact with me somewhere around here, like if he's just like, I'm like, oh no, you get back here, you gotta put lips on me, put them on me, and you just barely like little feather kiss you. I'm like, listen, you're gonna be 18 years old. I'm gonna be dropping you off for graduation. Your ass is still gonna kiss me on the goddamn cheek.
Now, your daughter's 15, 16?
She'll be 16 next month.
Is she still very affectionate, or is she at that age where like, no?
Well, we're not in my family very affectionate people. So, I'm affectionate with her. I try to be, but she's in a private school in another state, so it's when she's here, when she comes to visit on our breaks and whatnot, she we cuddle and I kiss her on the forehead and stuff like that, but
so she'll still do that. Like my child will not cuddle. And when she was younger we used to. and we would like cuddle and watch movies and curl up in bed together and read
I think
books
that
and
because my daughter's not with me all the time, it's different.
yeah.
She does things that.
Yeah, my son's with me all the time. Did you guys see the one thing that I posted on Facebook in the last week? The picture from yesterday, or was it yesterday morning? Yeah, it's yesterday morning. So I watch my niece on
Oh, I saw
Saturday
that.
nights, Friday nights to Saturday, because I watch her Saturday for my sister, and then so I just take her. Oh, that's the blurry one. And she was upstairs in my room, and I just kind of woke her up, and she had her bottle, and the dog came up and sat in bed, and then my son showed up, and so there's a picture of everybody on my bed with the news going in the
Oh yeah, I
background.
saw that.
Yeah, everybody's just kind of chilling, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's what we do. My son still loves to cuddle with me. He loves to sit next to me on the couch and cuddle up,
I
and
think boys tend to do that a little longer.
yeah, maybe it's also probably because he's, you know, unless Cali guy is home, he's one boy in a house full of women. He's just used
Right.
to us all being very touchy feely and cuddly up, and he's always loved to be with me and cuddle up with me. I had to cut off the sleeping with me last year because he was like, "Can I sleep with you tonight?" And I'm like, "No, mom needs to masturbate. You got to go to your own bed."
Oh God.
I didn't say that. But I was like, "No, honey, you're trying to get a little too old to sleep with mommy unless it's a really bad dream. Like you wake up in the middle of the night, bad dream."
Because at some point he's going to be doing it himself.
He already is. I have walked in on him.
Oh my God, already?
Yes.
What?
I don't think he's masturbating to pleasure himself. I think he's just like, hey, look at this thing that I have. Look what it does. So, and I walked into his
Once
room.
you do it and figure out that it feels good, like then
There
you
will be
do it on
no
purpose.
stopping him.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I walked into his room and he was supposed to be getting dressed for school and he's playing with his fucking penis. I looked him in the eye and said, "Do not play with your fucking pecker while you're supposed to be getting dressed and getting ready for school. Play with your pecker on your own goddamn time." Okay.
Okay.
Like, he's always had a fascination with his penis and he's always grabbing it like in public and stuff. And I'm like, look, I don't care if you want to touch it. I don't care if you want to rub it. I don't care what you want to do with it in the privacy of your own room where no one's going to see it. When you're out in public, keep your hands out of your pants.
Hands off.
It's like, what you do in private is fine, but nobody wants to see you do it. I promise.
Well, one day somebody will.
Somebody will, but he doesn't need to know
but
that
not
now.
right now.
Yeah.
Not for many years to come.
No, I'm sure there's somebody who wants to see it now, but those people belong in jail. Yeah.
They belong dead.
Yeah.
Where's the buzzer? Where's the shot collar?
Yeah, no, that's gross.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, that's yeah, I think we're probably going to venture into social media soon at some point, but there's rules. Like, I don't even want him to have a cell phone until he's in high school, like.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah. My daughter had a cell phone at 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have
because
one.
here's what's going to happen. As he gets a little bit older, he's going to start going places.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to be able to be in communication with him. Even for me, it's something as simple as, I mean, obviously, if she's spending the night somewhere, if she's going somewhere, but even if we have a park in our community. And so initially, I bought walkie-talkies and that had, a far range. And if she wanted to go there, I would start letting her go by herself, not by herself, like with other kids, but she'd have to have the walkie-talkie. But now she just takes her cell phone and she's like, hey, I'll be at the park and I have my phone and, and I'm all right. And
Yeah.
so you're going to want that as they start to venture away from home more.
Yeah, and my
You
daughter
want to
went
be able to be in communication.
My
with
daughter
them.
went to school at 8, so a private boarding school. So that's why she had a phone because that she lived at the school. And
I can't get my kid to go outside in my own backyard for him to play. I don't think I'm going to worry about it.
Wait till he gets to middle school. I mean, he's going to want to get out there more, and then they're going to want to go to the movies with friends. And for my child, she always has a different teammate always has something that she's going to. And you hit that. I found out recently that I only recently stopped the whole sitting there at birthday parties. Very recent. But I found out that more people did it many years ago. Like many years ago. And so obviously I was a little behind the curve.
Well, I think my son's still at the age where the parents still come to the birthday parties. Like everyone I've been to this school year, the parents all stayed. It really annoyed me when he was in first grade and one of his classmates, like his grandpa, showed up, dropped him off, said, "When's the party over?" And I'm like, I was gonna just like till the last kid left, but two? And he was like, "I'll be back at 3." And I was like, "What?" He was back at 3.
That was like daycare for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't even his parents who dropped him off. It was his fucking grandpa. I was like, Jesus Christ. And the kid barely spoke any English, so I couldn't even tell him, "Don't run away." No habla inglés, señora. I know.
Oh,
Oh, I doubt that. You're exaggerating. What grade was it?
First grade.
That I believe they have the English as a second language courses that
ESL.
transition
Yeah,
them into English by that point.
No.
No, not by that point.
No. Nope.
Oh, they don't have separate classes.
No, they don't.
No,
Well,
they
then
don't.
how does the child learn?
The English learning students suffer. That's why my son's in special education right now, because he didn't learn how to read in kindergarten like he should have. Because I know, because I volunteered in that classroom, 90% of the class time was spent teaching those kids how to say hello and have a mild conversation in English so that the teacher could at least, do a few things with them. The school he went to was 50-50 Latino and white, and 90% of the school day was spent teaching the Latino kids how to speak English. There's not a separate class. School district can't afford that. So because of that, the English speaking students suffer.
Some places have separate classes, but
it's
when
I
public
thought
schools,
I thought
it's
my
rare.
understanding was they had to be taught in transition to like by first grade.
No.
Nope, they cannot discriminate against non-English speaking students.
No, I didn't say discriminate against them. I didn't say
That
like
would be
throw them out of the classroom, that they taught them.
No, requiring
they
them to
went
learn
through.
English by the time first grade hits is discrimination. They have to be able to learn in Spanish in our school system.
See, my daughter didn't go to the district.
Yeah, my son went to school district 1 year, kindergarten, and now he's in a charter school where they can make the decision that you must be able to speak fluent English at the school, and as a result, he gets a much better education.
Yeah, public school sucks. That's why my daughter never. Well, she did 2 years of public school, and she suffered greatly because my daughter's a lazy learner. She has no motivation to learn on her own whatsoever. So I had to have her in Sylvan. Like she had tutors. It was a mess, but yeah, public school is not the place for
children,
especially if
for children.
It's not.
Especially in Vegas is really
No
bad. Vegas is
children.
one of the worst school districts in the United States.
We're like 52 out of 53 or some shit like that. We're terrible. We've one of the worst school systems. We underpay our teachers. We overpay our administrators. We spend too much money on facilities that students won't be learning in. And we don't allocate the appropriate funds from all of the ridiculous amounts of taxes we pay. We don't pay a state tax, but we do pay a pretty high sales tax, and we pay a high gas tax, and we pay a high luxury tax, and we pay a high, every time you go to the casinos are taxed to hell, but we yet don't have enough money for our school district. We can put $10,000 concrete turtles on underpasses that people can barely see for 2.5 seconds, but we can't buy new computers for our schools.
I love the ones that are the metal.
The metal
the
trees.
Metal pieces, yeah. And then as you go further down near Southern Highlands, there's like metal like horses or something.
Yeah, we've got, you know what they built over by our house? Big metal cages that they filled with rocks.
Those are everywhere.
That is a waste of my fucking money. I don't want my money spent on
They
that.
are everywhere.
I don't want my money spent on it.
Every off-ramp and on-ramp.
It's not pretty. There. It doesn't provide any sort of function. It's not a safety feature.
I think they're kind of pretty.
But
I like them.
But the $5,000 spent on every 2.5 feet of that could be used to buy new books for a public school.
They're random. Like they're not cohesive to the surroundings. They're just kind of there.
Yeah, they don't make
so
any
they
sense.
don't make any sense.
They're not even sound walls or anything.
No, they're
like
not.
That.
They're just there.
They're just there. Yeah, it's like
and they're everywhere. But I totally agree. Like Vegas has a lot of misappropriated funds, much like California does. But it is insane to me.
Back when the mob ruled the joint, we had good schools. I'm just saying.
Were you here? How do you know? Did you go to school here?
No. But I know people who know people.
I think that should, like, school to me should always be the first most important thing. I mean, these are the future.
Schools, roadways, and infrastructure.
Right.
That's what you should spend your money on.
These children are our future.
And by roadways, I don't mean stone fucking turtles. I mean asphalt.
Actually, I remember, a
right?
lot of
so
people
that I don't
saying
get
that
potholes.
That they didn't want the schools to do well, that the casinos didn't. So the kids would stay here and work in the casinos when they got older.
That's probably not a joke.
No, well, the problem that they have here is it's the 5th largest school district in the U.S. It's not broken up. I mean, in other states, a city of this size would have multiple different school districts. So the funds would be kind of allocated different. And here we have just this big, ginormous school district. And so
Vegas isn't that big.
No, right, but there's how many?
No, when the school district was zoned, when they first drew all the lines on the map, no, it made sense for this whole section to be one school district. But sometime in 1986 or 7, when we started booming and we tripled our population in less than 10 years, at some point in the 90s, when at my high school in the 90s, this is high school in the 90s, we had students sitting on the floor because we didn't have enough desks. That was 20 years ago. And that situation has only gotten worse. We have not built enough schools. We have not hired enough teachers. In the last 20 years, we've never had enough.
We're short, I believe, for next year, like 3,000 teachers.
Yeah.
In the next school year.
Sometime in the 90s, mid to late 90s, they should have divided the school district into 2 or 3 sections, and they even talked about doing it, and they talked about it in the early 2000s, and they've talked. The problem with that is, if they do that, the upper administrators at the school board have to take a pay cut because their job has to now be shared to 2 or 3 other people, and that money has to be reallocated to their salaries as well. And so none of the administrators will allow it to happen because they don't want to miss out on their $500,000.
I mean, is it the administrators who have the last call on it? I would assume it's more of
it's the school board.
A government thing that would.
Well, fortunately, it's not. It's the school board who decides whether or not to divide their district.
Right.
And if you divide the district, you have to have 2 different school boards, and that means the head of the school board is going to have to take a pay cut because the money for the other head of the other school board has to come from somewhere.
It's like the presidency. Like, it's...
Yeah, a country of our size with our population shouldn't have one government. I want to move to Texas and have our own government down there. Guns, gods, and grits.
That's basically it. And football.
And football, yeah. What?
Well, that's a religion. That's not a government thing.
That's true. That's true.
Football's a religion.
I get that. That's true.
Our government's a joke.
All hail the holy Dallas Cowboys.
Our, founding fathers were to see the fuckery that's committed these days, they'd shoot themselves.
I mentioned this at work the other day because we were talking about taxes. Because we get into philosophical conversations about like that over lunch. And you all know that the entire American Revolution, we split from our founding country over 0.5% of sales tax on tea.
Right?
Now, okay, we're paying 20 times that in an income tax that is technically not legal. If Benjamin Franklin took one look at the amount of taxes I pay for somebody else to live for free, he would sponsor a whole new revolution. He'd be like, "You're living in tyranny. You need a new government. Your government's
Well, that's the thing.
you."
Is back in the day, people used to stand up and say this isn't right. Yeah. Today, everybody's a fucking sheeple.
Like, well, there's also a vast majority of the American population has become so dependent on the American government running the way it does is that we will never be allowed
And
to
we're
reform
dependent
it.
because of the fuckery that's committed.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Which
you're
is a
either
technical term, by the way.
Fuckery is a
fuckery.
technical.
Fuckery is totally
You
technical.
Fuckery and fuck upness.
There's
Both
two things.
technical
There's two
terms.
things. You either live in poverty or you do well. There's no middle ground.
Not really.
You know, people either just barely getting by or struggling or need assistance. I mean, and we have fucking employers like Walmart who keep the American population. They are the biggest user of the welfare system in the United States.
Yeah.
And these are people that we give our money to.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't give it back.
Nope.
Oh, the Waltons, they got plenty of money.
You know,
we need more billionaires.
I guess
like
it's
Bill
a little
Gates.
different if that's
Word.
where, that's where you choose to kind of go as your full time opportunity.
Well, look at our fucking educational system. There's not a lot of people that have and you have to pay for higher education in this country.
Right.
So, I don't blame a lot of people for working at Walmart because they have had a shitty public school system education. And B, their families probably, lives in poverty, so they can't even afford to go to college.
Well, I personally worked at Walmart. I worked at Walmart while I was in college, and they were obviously it met all my needs at the time. They were a um,
I also worked at McDonald's when I was in college.
They were an establishment, but they were an establishment that worked with my schooling and worked with my time needs. They offered benefits and that might have changed by now. I believe I did hear the benefits change, but I didn't have to work time in order to, or work, full time in order to have benefits. I had it on a part-time basis.
Yeah, they don't give benefits anywhere on a
they
part-time
were
basis.
really good to their employees, and having come from a retail background, they had paid slightly higher than what other retailers were paying in my area. So it was something that worked out for me, but I didn't choose to
make it a career.
To make it a career, I didn't choose to stay there. So I think if somebody, maybe if it was a full time and you're trying to feed your family and, maybe as a full time opportunity, yeah, it's probably not because it's their wages aren't going to accommodate
the fact
that.
is that they figured out a way to skirt the system.
Mm-hmm.
So they hire less full-time employees, more part-time employees.
That's been a lot more recent, as many companies are, because then they get out of
they don't have to pay the benefits.
Right.
And especially after, and it was kind of a big hit, like when everybody was preparing for, the Obamacare to go into effect, and companies had to pay, full-time employee like benefits. So.
But what I'm going to look it up. I want to say it's in the 50s as far as what Walmart management pays. If somebody is at Walmart and they do choose that this is their career, then they have the opportunity to find out, what do I need to do to take that next step, get in management.
You just can't be a woman and do it.
That's not true.
Walmart just had to settle just a couple of years ago. They had to settle a class action lawsuit where it didn't even make it all the way to a full trial court because it was ruled in the very original, in the discovery process of the trial that they were unfairly not promoting women into the positions that they deserve.
And not all of them. I've been in Walmarts that have. Okay, so here we go. The average manager salary at Walmart, it breaks down state by state.
This is the store manager salary.
Right, but it's management. The job of a manager, that's something that you absolutely have the opportunity to aspire to. Arkansas, 64,000. Texas, almost 50. California, 55. For the cost of living in California, actually, the salary doesn't always equate in a lot of the markets, especially
55,000 is not enough in California.
No, but even Southern California, they don't equate right. But Florida, 45,000. That's actually pretty typical for Florida. New York, 70. Probably not going to get you too much in New York.
The reason Arkansas is so high is because that's where their flagship. That's where they're headquartered.
Yeah. Illinois, 47. Georgia, 52. If your concern is how do I support a family, working at Walmart, then you work really hard and take the steps necessary to become management. And here's with years of experience.
if you're a single mom and you have 3 kids and you go to Walmart because you don't have, an education or, whatever, and that's your lot in life, right?
Right.
What are you gonna tell the the person? Oh well, you should have had a better upbringing.
No,
So
it has
now,
nothing to do with their upbringing. You're not defined by what your upbringing is. You're defined by what you choose
well,
to
a
do
lot of
with your life.
people are. I mean, and that's the fact of the matter is a lot of people, you know, some people like me, myself. I mean, I know this for a fact because I chose to not be a victim of my circumstance.
Right.
I mean, but I'm not the average bear, you know.
Right. And a lot of
Most
people are. I
A
mean, a
lot of
lot of people, it is a continuous cycle,
there
which is
are
definitely understandable. But if you choose to break the cycle and determine, you know what, I'm not just going to be held down by what my upbringing is. I mean, my upbringing wasn't beautiful, it definitely
right.
wasn't. And I've never let my upbringing define who I was and limit what my personal drive is. I mean, I never just sat back and said, well, my dad's a farmer, so I guess I'm just gonna work on a farm my whole life, and he also works in a factory, so I guess I'll just settle for working in a factory.
I think you jinxed all our
It's
microphones.
I broke them all now. It's really what they choose to do with
It's
it.
fine. Mine was working just a minute ago.
There's other positions that they can go into as well. I mean, a store manager is higher. Store manager, that management level we were just talking about, that's just manager. A store manager, 80 to 300,000 with bonuses. Market merchandisers, I mean, there's some great salaries to be made there. So,
and here's the thing about, so you've got to understand what some of this translates to.
Scared the shit out of me.
So I worked for a major national chain like Walmart is. Market merchandiser, market asset protection, and market manager. These people do not work in stores.
mm-hmm.
These people work at a division headquarters. There's maybe one of those for every 5 states.
But it's still a position that you can aspire to if
It's not a position. I can tell you for a fact, these 3 positions right here, you cannot get them without a college degree. There is a minimum bachelor's requirement for those positions. I know that because I did merchandising for my major chain, and in order to get into the market merchandising position, even though I'd been doing merchandising for over a year, they would not hire me because I did not have a bachelor's degree.
So if you had more experience than a year, you don't feel that
No. No, they
the
made it
option of experience in lieu of a degree would
they made it
apply.
absolutely clear that without a bachelor's degree in merchandising, no one would get that
So
position.
then
It was a
let's
requirement.
take those out. I mean, there's other one. For example, see this HR position here. We had our own one of our own recent guests never had a background in HR, and that's what she does now.
That's
She
HR is one
worked
of
her
those positions you can work into, but
right.
some of these
You can't get an upper
positions,
management in HR without a degree. I mean,
right.
there's a lot of companies that
But how
even
many
get a little higher
positions are
level.
in HR and how many positions are
It's
in
very
upper
few.
management? And that's
Well,
the
how
thing.
if we're just sticking with Walmart, I mean, just because it was the model that we started with, if we're just sticking with
Target
Walmart,
pays their you
you're
don't hear these same things that happen at Target. They pay their employees better. They treat their
right.
employees better. They have full-time employees.
But you still have, again, just going back to the Walmart, number one, you have a stepping stone. If you want to go to Target, get some experience
Right.
where
Well, our
you're at and then move
conversation
up.
wasn't about, it's about our school system and having these,
Right. But
our,
we were saying that
these
if they
shitty
went to
positions.
Walmart and
Right.
then they were kind of stuck there and then getting paid, pretty crappy. I'm just saying not everybody has to be a cashier for what's minimum wage now, $8 an hour or
I
Yeah,
have no
something.
idea.
but not everybody can become a store manager either. There's not
But
enough
there's a lot more,
positions.
right? But there's a lot more Walmarts, and you can gain experience and go to other
But
retailers
the
as
fact
well.
is that they are the biggest. Walmart employees are the biggest recipients of government benefits in the
Right.
United States. You can look it up. It's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that same problem with Target. You don't have that same problems with a lot of other big chains. It's Walmart specifically. They're a shitty company. They don't treat their employees like they should because they're too worried about making that all those billions of dollars and keeping them in the family pocket.
Then you go in here, you get the experience, and you go to Target. You put it on.
But how many positions are available at Target? You can't fund.
Well, you can
everybody.
say this about any career. You can say
Walmart
how many positions are there if I become
Walmart
a
comes
pharmacist.
into an area and clears out all the mom and pop shops that would have given people better jobs because they have. And I'm guilty for this. Like, I hate Walmart. Like, I disdain them. But because I am a sucker for a good deal.
Where did this come from?
Giant men meet tiny
clicked
kittens.
Off. Giant men meet tiny kittens.
It's a great video. I love it. Well, it's staged, but it's very funny.
But because I'm a sucker for a good deal, I can't not shop there.
You can't pass up 95-cent, whatever.
Anything. Right?
I can't pass up 95-cent anything, really.
Right?
But like tampon, a box of tampons is like $9 at Walmart. You can shop it.
The one cool thing that you can do that other stores don't do is the price matching. Yeah. Like you can go, they could be your one-stop. They literally are your one-stop shop, and it sucks, and I hate it, and I beat myself up every single time I go in there. But the fact is that they do give better deals.
I do hate going to Walmart. I mean, I love good deals, and I do personally prefer Target.
I feel so guilty.
If you're going to go to Walmart, you need to go on the 5th of the month. Do not go on the 1st.
No.
I'm also just saying at Walmart when I worked
there. Because the
employees
are all shopping there.
That's right.
But when I worked at Walmart, I did get a discount card.
Yeah, it's like.
So I did get a discount.
It's 5%.
It didn't matter. It was a discount.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a discount off already low price.
I'm trying to get my mom to work at IKEA, and I know their discount ain't all that big either.
Yeah, but.
Well, because it's IKEA and they're already uber discounted.
Yeah, my mom's like, I need a job. I'm like, just wait another year, Mom.
I can't wait. Summer. I'm telling you, when IKEA comes here, oh my God, we're so fucking going there. Like, I am saving
I'm going to have 2 bags. One in each hand. I don't care how bad my spine is. I'll be on a scooter. Fuck it.
I have the blue IKEA bags. I buy them. I love those bags.
Those bags are amazing.
They're like all over you always see me all the time. Like, I send my daughter to a sleepover and I'm like, put your stuff in this IKEA bag. She's like,
I used to live right up the street from IKEA when I lived in California because I lived in Northridge, and there's IKEA right there in Burbank, and I used to go there all the time. There's a Chevy's right across the street. Like, I'd make a whole day of it. Like, IKEA was
and our IKEA is gonna have the IKEA cafe in it too. So
they all do.
I'm just gonna eat all the meatballs. I'm just gonna be in there.
But you can only have so much IKEA cafe. I'm just saying.
Before you start shitting
Before
yourself.
you start.
I know.
Yeah, having like odd twitches.
You're like bending over and shitting your pants.
But I plan my plan is to save up like $100 and then
go
refurnish
remodel
my
your
whole
house.
home.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have to, find someone to come build the shit for me.
Oh, I'll come build it.
It doesn't matter.
The little L-shaped tool they give you.
Yes, the little.
That shit takes forever. You need tools.
When we lived in San Diego, I loved like the IKEA there for some reason moved. So you're in there and you could feel like you're walking on the upper floor and you feel it like.
Oh, I can't shop there.
Very creepy.
That's odd.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
There's a couple of casinos I can't go into because they're set to sway because everything here is set because we live on a fault line.
Right.
And if it's too windy, you can feel the casino start to sway. I can't go in some of the casinos.
Well, that's what my family, my biological family, they do. Like my uncle, he's a genius. He's an enormous alcoholic. Genius.
They usually are.
But he designs and manufactures earthquake straps. So that's what allows the buildings to sway. Mm-hmm. And so I'd been in buildings like that since I was young. So I'm kind of used to. But I already shake. Like, my equilibrium is off. Here's the deal. My equilibrium is off. I got hit in the head when I was young and
dropped on our head as a baby.
Pretty much. My equilibrium's already off. I shake already pretty much all the time, and I'm already like kind of jittery.
Brain.
So when a building moves, I don't even notice. We could be in the middle of an earthquake, and I think it would just be normal because I already have those like weird
like suddenly
feelings.
Everything is still.
Right.
The world is moving at the sway of Desiree.
Right. I'm like, so I don't even notice. Like, sometimes I'll be like the only one, and I'll be sitting there like.
You'll notice if I'm with you because the last time I was in Southern California and they had an earthquake, but it traumatized me, but everyone else just continued drinking their coffee at the shitty little cafe we were at.
Right, because that's how it works in California.
So it was when I was with my baby daddy and we went down there and I'm like meeting his family for like the second time ever. And my son's like 6 months old, and we're sitting in a cafe and I'm having coffee with his mom and they had like a little tremble and stuff's kind of like just jittering around on the table everybody else, it's almost like it's not happening. And I'm got a death grip on the table screaming, we're all gonna die. And
you're like that one person in the movie that's all
yeah, no, that's me. I love Southern California. I think it's beautiful. I like the weather. I don't like that it doesn't get cold enough for me, but I love the beach. I love everything about Southern California, but I could never live there because of the earthquakes, because I would be afraid that I would die in an earthquake.
Well, then you shouldn't watch San Andreas Fault.
No, I probably shouldn't.
With The Rock, you should watch it.
Well, I want to see it because it has The Rock in it.
Right. I want to see it for that reason.
Oh my god!
I don't find The Rock that sexy.
He's very sexy.
He's very sexy.
And not only that, he is like such a good guy. Like he posts like little videos of his mom. Like the most recent one was they were on a plane and they're flying this big private jet,
right.
and somebody sets down food in front of her, and he told this story, and she said, she got really emotional, and she said, when you were a kid, I worked as hard as I could just to feed you, and she's like, and now I'm having food handed to me, set in front of me by somebody on a big plane, and then she started crying, and so he took a picture, and I mean, he's just a good guy. You always see about him doing.
Made his mother cry.
No, but you always,
what a douche.
But you always see him doing like charitable things and things with kids and blah blah blah.
I do charitable things. I don't like kids that much, so I don't do that much with kids. But animals, I see a bunch of people talking about, oh, how Desi's a good person.
Desi's a good person.
No, I'm just kidding.
She is like,
but The Rock is
thank
also
you for
very...
just looking at the outside.
The Rock
right?
is The Rock.
I know. Thanks for just checking out my boobs.
Please.
Right?
Boobs.
Pay no attention to the woman behind the curtain.
Right?
Boobs.
Titties.
Boobs.
I'm like, I don't know. I was through a little pity party earlier today. And everybody was welcome because I was like, what is happening? Like, I try to do all these really good things and put out that, stuff into the universe for karma, and I feel like I'm getting pummeled this month.
No good deed goes unpunished,
right?
And nice guys finish last.
Well, I'm going back to being an asshole because this is bullshit.
It is bullshit, but then, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the asshole
who
gets everything he wants, or do you want to be the good guy just because that's
I kind of want to be
better
the asshole
for your
right
soul.
now, but no, I need peace in my life, so I definitely couldn't be an asshole all the time. Maybe part-time asshole.
For hire. Asshole for hire.
Asshole for hire.
Ass.
Yeah. I definitely am an asshole for hire. I will be in anything you want for hire. I absolutely have a number. Yes.
I do too, unfortunately. I have a number.
Oh no.
I'm trying to meet that number.
I definitely have a number. Do we want to take a break? I need to air out.
Let's take a break.
I'm just over here sweating up a storm.
Let me get some music going. Yeah, we only
play
got
some more
U2.
Minutes. Are there some?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of U2.
I got lots to talk about for BBWCon too.
No, we don't want to play a rival podcast. We want to continue playing some U2. All right, we'll be back after these songs from my favorite band, the best band ever.